So on the theme of British cuisine, we're going to make a very traditional British cheesecake, and this one I'm going to make is a lemon cheesecake. So I've put my butter in a pan, and that's 75 grams, in a pan to melt. And then I've got 150 grams of digestive biscuits here. Now, you can put them in a bag and crush them, or you can just put them in a bowl and crush them and use the end of the rolling pin. I prefer to do it this way because it's quite easy. Just be very careful that you're not banging it too hard so the biscuits don't go everywhere. So I'm just going to crush those with the end of the rolling pin, and you want them to all be crushed. You don't want lots of large lumps in it, so keep doing that until they're all broken down and they're quite fine. And then this is going to make the base of your cheesecake. Digestive biscuits are preferable for this. However, you can use other biscuits if you wish to. Sometimes if you want to add a bit of a different flavour to it, put a twist on the British traditional cheesecake, you could add ginger biscuits. Do it with ginger biscuits. Sometimes I've done it with ginger biscuits before, and that's quite nice, gives it another flavour in there. So, but not biscuits with any filling in them at all, so they need to be plain biscuits. So the digestive biscuits are very good because they crush up quite easily. So you can see, there you go, I've crushed those up quite quickly with the end of the rolling pin, like that. Just make sure there's no lumps. Okay, so that's quite fine now. So it resembles breadcrumbs now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the melted butter into there. So here's my melted butter, and I'm just going to use a wooden spoon to just stir that in. Now you want to make sure that you don't burn the butter, because that would add a really unpleasant flavour to it. So just be careful, you're only melting the butter, and you could just put them in a bowl and just melt the butter in the microwave, okay? It only needs to be melted butter. So I'm going to put that into a foil dish, like so, and that should be enough quantity to fill a foil dish of this size. And I'm just going to pat that down evenly to make the base of the cheesecake. So once I've patted this down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the fridge to just set while I'm making the topping for the cheesecake. So I'm just going to flatten that out. And obviously the butter then will turn hard again and will set your biscuit base. So that will give it a firm biscuit base on the bottom. Make it even, so you've got an even base to set your cheesecake filling onto. So I'm just going to put that into the fridge while I am making the rest of my filling. Okay, so you'll need to wash up the bowl and make sure your bowl is really clean. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add some double cream or whipping cream into the bowl, and you're just going to mix that up quickly with some electric whisk. So this gives it a bit So we're wanting that to be quite thick. So you can see now that's starting to thicken up, but a little bit longer we need, but you mustn't over whisk it. If you over whisk it, what'll happen is it'll start to separate. Right, so that has been whisked well now. Okay, I'm going to add to this, I'm going to add some cream cheese. This is just very plain, own brand of Tesco's or Sainsbury's cream cheese. You could use Philadelphia cheese, and that just makes your filling like that. Now to sweeten it up, you can use icing sugar, but I'm going to use caster sugar in here. But if you want a smoother texture, icing sugar is quite good to use. I'm just going to use some caster sugar for this recipe, but that's optional. You can change the caster sugar for icing sugar, and it's the same quantity. So what you're going to do now is you're going to use a lemon, because I'm going to make this a lemon cheesecake. And what you want to do is you want to just take that first bit of the rind off, and you need to make sure that this is an unwaxed lemon. You don't want a waxed lemon, so just check that when you buy them. You don't want to go any further than just taking that first layer off. You don't want the white pith, because that's very, very bitter. So you want to just keep the rind. The rind will really help to give this a real lemony flavour. Okay? I'm just going to use some of that rind. So you'll need the whole rind to really give this a really nice lemon flavour. I'm just going to knock that rind out. Make sure that rind goes into the dish. Might need to just pop your knife through the slits if it sticks onto there, like that, just to get those bits of rind off there. Okay, like that. And then just give it a little bang, and that should come off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the juice from the lemon too. So I'm going to get lemon squeezer. And I'm going to put the juice of half the lemon in there so it doesn't get too watery. And then I'm just going to stir that in. And at this point you can taste the flavour and then adjust the flavouring if you need to. And then that is your filling. If you want more lemon in there, you can put more lemon in there, but that should be enough. So do it to your taste. You then take your base out, and then you're just going to place the filling on the top. Scoop that out. And we're just going to put that onto the base. Just smooth that out like that. And that is a very, very simple cheesecake. And then you can, if you want to, you can add some fresh fruit like blueberries or raspberries or strawberries onto there, and just turn that into a strawberry, very traditional strawberry cheesecake. Okay, just make sure that's just spread over evenly. With the back of the spoon like that. You can use a palette knife to do this as well, or a spatula. And then there's a very, very simple cheesecake. Okay. Now some recipes do have gelatine in them. We're not going to use gelatine in this cheesecake, but you can find recipes with gelatine in them, and that helps it to set if you've got more of a liquidy cheesecake filling. So you can put that in, and then you can decorate that and show some real presentation skills by putting some blueberries, strawberries or raspberries or kiwis, anything just to make that look more interesting. And that's your cheesecake. Okay.